Hey everyone, it's L2Noob2 again, and today, or right now, we're going to go over some of the options in MHWalker. Some of the options a lot of people have questions about. They're not sure what they do or how they work. So, I'm going to do a brief description of what each one does, when to use it, maybe when not to use it. We'll just see where it goes. Here you see MHWalker 0.929. Hotkeys and binds. Well, if you can't figure that one out, you really have no business using the bot in the first place. So we're going to skip over those. I'm going to head straight for delays. Now, there are two options here, town lag and time limit. Time limit is fairly descriptive, but town lag is not. Town lag, every once in a while, you have server lag that when you hit replay, it will send you back to town by the docks, and you will have the empty black battle cleared window, but it won't say battle cleared, and there are no buttons on it, no information. Sometimes the server will kick you to the boat. Sometimes it won't. Depends on how much lag there is. Town lag tells the bot how long it should wait to see if it gets kicked back to the boat before it starts taking action. Default for this is 15,000, which is 15 seconds. You can adjust this to any amount depending on server lag at the time. If server lag is severe, you'll probably want to set this to, I would say, no lower than 1,000. Maximum, sky's the limit, but after 15 seconds, if you haven't got back on the boat, you're probably not going to. So, that's town lag. Next is time limit. Some dungeons take longer than others, but as a general rule, no run of any dungeon should take more than 300 seconds, 300,000 milliseconds. 300 seconds is 5 minutes. There are three notable exceptions. There is prepare for the counterattack, prepare for the Ainley attack, also known as the Unveiling Truth, and there's another one in Hoarfrost Depths. I can't remember the name of it, but you know which one I'm talking about. Proof of Courage, that's it. These will all take longer than the 5 minutes specified in time limit, the default value. You need to increase that if you're running these dungeons. Otherwise, it'll get almost all the way through it and then forfeit. That's what time limit does. It forfeits after this amount of time set. That's in case the bot gets stuck and it just doesn't sit there all night. You're actually productive the rest of the time. Next is program options. Use keyboard mode. Well, pretty self-explanatory. If you're using keyboard mode, then you should have this box checked. That's it. If you're using mouse mode, leave it unchecked. Slow mouse mode. On certain computers, things are very slow. Computer's slow, you're using it in a VM, the VM will be slow. Sometimes you just want to slow the bot down. Misclicks, things like that. Slow mouse mode prevents that. Runs the mouse a lot slower so that clicks have a better chance of registering, especially on slow computers. That's all that's for. If the bot runs fine, don't use it. If the bot is misclicking, or it's not clicking enough, or the clicks don't seem to be registering, use slow mouse mode. It'll tend to clear most issues up. Force Vindictus EU is the next option. The MHWalker can distinguish the difference between Vindictus North America and Vindictus EU. It has several methods to do this. It will recognize which version you are in. If, however, there is a problem and it can't figure it out, it will revert to NA. If it can't figure out which version of Vindictus it's using, it will assume NA. If you're actually running EU, just check this. I have never heard of this being needed, but for some reason, a lot of people check it for whatever reason. But it's there just in case. Fourth option, when Vindictus loses focus. Every once in a while, a program will pop up and it will steal the focus away from the main window, in this case Vindictus. Here you have three options: do nothing, pause bot, get focus. Well, each one has a purpose. Pause bot is the default option. So when something happens, program loses focus, and Vindictus is not the top window anymore, it will just instantly pause, and it will figure out the rest. This is useful if you are running the bot while watching it. If you're not, I would recommend get focus. It will automatically steal the focus back from whatever program stole it away. Try it out. It's actually pretty cool. Try an Alt-Tab away, instantly comes back to Vindictus in a split second. Last option is do nothing. Do nothing is useful only if you use the next option, which is allow non-active window commands. Non-active window commands allow you to use the bot while you are doing other things on your computer. It is buggy, it doesn't work for everybody, but it's the only solution available. You can thank Valve and HackShield for that. It works for some, not for everybody. You want to try it, go for it. But if you do, when Vindictus loses focus, do nothing. Otherwise, it's going to pause your bot when you try and Alt-Tab out, or it's going to steal the focus back, which defeats the whole purpose of using non-active window commands in the first place. Lastly is host timescale max value. You find that in your binds, right here. Timescale, numpad div, increment host var 1, x, y. X will be some value. In the case of MHWalker binds, it's 5. And then y will be another value. In the case of MHWalker binds, it's 4. If you're using pi binds, this number, x, is 6. MHWalker needs to know that number, the second number. And that, in this case, is 5. Here you go. MHWalker in Symbot binds is 5, pi binds is 6. Just remember, it's the second number after increment var host timescale. That's what it's looking for. If you're using MHWalker binds, never have to mess with it. Next tab, bot options. Most of these are self-explanatory. Spend AP every however many runs. Default is 10. You have to have 1 point of AP in the skill that you want to train. If you don't have 1 AP in any skill, then it won't train any skills. But you have to have some AP in the skill you want to train. And it will go ahead and train it all the way up to max. Max runs. Self-explanatory. Only want to run 10 runs of something? Only want to run 20? Don't want to be put on the leaderboards for whatever reason, trying to play it better safe than sorry? Good. Well, more power to you. That's what this is for. But some people, like me, just want it to run forever. In that case, put a 0. That's it. Next option, close battle cleared window. Sometimes people have issues with the mouse clicking on the battle cleared window. If this is checked, what will happen is instead of hitting replay on the battle cleared window, it will close it and then click replay from the party menu. Sometimes that has a better effect than others. It really depends on your computer. It really depends on a lot of different things. So use this if needed. It adds about, I would say, 1.5 seconds to your runtime. Better safe than sorry, whatever you choose. But if that 1.5 seconds is really important to you, uncheck it and see if it works. More than likely it will, but for every once in a while, for some people, it just doesn't. Next option, use host timescale to speed up battle cleared. When the battle cleared window comes up, MHWalker can detect this, and it will use host timescale to make it go extremely fast. Some dungeons don't like it. Ones that have a lot of cores on the floor, for example, not very good idea. Prepare for the Ainley attack, or the Unveiling Truth, as it's officially called. Not a good place to use this. I really haven't had an issue with any other dungeon, but that one itself just doesn't like that option. For the most part, it works just fine. But if you're running on a slow computer, yeah, go ahead and turn it off. Might be a good idea. Next option, use host timescale to speed up cutscenes. Let's take the Weeping Queen, for example. As soon as you hit the dungeon, in comes this 15-second cutscene that, when you're running a dungeon a million times, seems to take forever. That's 15 seconds lost. MHWalker knows where all these cutscenes are and will speed through them using host timescale if you want it to. Once again, slower computers have an issue. Laptops, VMs, crap computers that were built in 1982 can't handle that very well. That option's there to turn off if you need to. Next option, use host timescale to speed up dungeon. Can cause severe lag in some dungeons. Actually, I should rewrite this to say will cause severe lag in most dungeons. Only a very few will this work on. Any dungeon where the path to the boss from the spawn point is a straight line or very close to it, this has no problem. The Contract with Larkin, no problem. Buried Sorrow with Centurion, no problem. Decisive Battle, no problem. Yeti King, long curve around the tunnel into the boss room, you're never going to make it. The problem is that when mobs spawn, it will cause lag, severe lag, if you are in host timescale. The bot will press the movement key for X amount of time, but you're lagged out for half of that. The bot doesn't end up where it's supposed to be, and it just doesn't work. But that is used in conjunction with the Dungeons tab, right over here. And if it ever populates, we'll be good. There we go. Alright, this is all the dungeons that MHWalker can do. And there's a checkbox next to each one. You have to check the box and check host timescale in order to get that dungeon to go in host timescale mode. So I normally leave it check, dungeons, and then set default here. It will check the very few dungeons that, in my experience, have very little chance of fucking up when using host timescale. If you have a freaking power machine, you could probably do most of them, if not all of them, in host timescale mode. But if you have an average machine, these right here will work, and work pretty well. So that's that option. Next option, change channel when in town. Some people don't want to be noticed. Some people want to hide. Well, if you want it to change channel every time you hit town, just to make sure you're not noticed, or you're not recognized, or you're never in the same place for too long, fine. Go ahead, check this box, and put in a minimum and a maximum channel. It will find a random in between the two. If you always want to go to the same channel no matter what, just make the minimum and the maximum the same. MHWalker deactivates itself after blank minutes. However many minutes you specify, if it is stuck in town, doesn't know what to do, or stuck on a boat, doesn't know what to do, stuck in a dungeon, can't fix it. It can log out for you. That way, you're not standing in town looking like a bot, naked, no weapon, no inner, whatever. You just don't want to be recognized. That's what this is for. This does not apply when you manually deactivate the bot, only when it deactivates itself in that something completed, like oath mode, for example, or perhaps lag issues, can't figure out what's going on. It won't just leave you sitting there all night or all day like a bot. It will log you out if you want it to. 0 means it'll just make you look like a bot. Default value is 5. When the bot is unable to identify a location, log out and back in. It actually applies to more instances than just unable to identify location. If the bot can't figure out what's going on or what to do next, or if it doesn't know how to fix the current situation, it will log out and log back in. This will put it back into a known state. It will know exactly where it is, and it will know exactly what to do next. I've had good success with it. Some people have issues. I don't know. Obviously, it requires your login information. Login information is encrypted on your system. It does not leave your system. Does not make contact with the outside world, and it's encrypted in the INI file. So even if I wanted it, I couldn't get it. If your buddy comes over and wants it, he can't get it. No one can get it. Even your user ID turns to all dots, and the password to dots. That's it. The reason for that is your account. More than likely, you're going to have a fair bit of gold on your botting accounts and a fair bit of items. You don't need just anybody walking up and, hacking the hell out of it. After all, you botted for that shit fair and square. So, just remember to select your server. If you are on EU, this will have absolutely no effect, obviously. Select your character number, and that's it. Auto sell. This is pretty self-explanatory. Enable auto selling to NPC every however many runs, and then which chest do you look in? Here's my general rule of thumb. I pick one chest. All my other chests I fill. I put my magic powders in a chest like chest 2, for example. That way, whenever I get one, it'll just stack up. And it'll never go over into the next chest. And it won't be accidentally sold. I usually pick chest 3 because I don't buy extra chests for my bot accounts. So I pick chest 3, and anything that happens in chest 3 just gets NPC'd, because I hate mail. I really do. Enchant scrolls, empowered enhancement stones, magic powder, epic enhancement stones, blessed magic powder. You don't want these sold, just check the box. It'll see them and skip over them. A couple people have asked me, why epic enhancement stones? Well, they're still useful in EU. They don't have empowered yet. Well, they do, but they don't have a use for them. And you can only get them out of places like Regret Zero. So, whatever. Dungeons, we've already gone over that. So, there you are. There is a semi-in-depth discussion of all the different options inside MHWalker and what they do. If you have issues with an option, I recommend you go back and make sure that if any of the options build on each other, such as the case with Vindictus loses focus and allow non-active window commands, those have to be set similarly to be in sync with each other. If you're having issues with something like that, go back, make sure that all of the options are set properly and no option can conflict with it, such as the case here, or in the case of use host timescale to speed up dungeon and the dungeon being checked. If you have any issues, ask on the forums. If your question, whatever it might be, was answered in this little video, then you're going to have to look at the video again, because probably won't get answered. Too many people ask the same questions when all it takes is 2 minutes of searching or watching a 15-minute video. So anyway, there it is. Have any questions, post it on the forums. Talk to you later.